we start, please don't hold it up on us.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to begin our program. We have a couple of schools that are on their way. We've confirmed with them their buses are just running a little late to get here. But we thought we would start because we want to try to stay on schedule for our media folks today to be able to get their stories done and for you folks to get back to school for practices this afternoon in time. I'm Paul Hoey. I'm the Associate Executive Director of By CIAC, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to our press conference to honor our finalists in both ice hockey and basketball. It's going to be a great weekend of high school sports. In addition to hockey and basketball, we have also our state open swimming championships going on as well. So we're excited, and we're hoping for good weather this weekend. It's been a tough fall and winter with all the cancellations, but we're on schedule and we're ready to go, and the games will be played. And of course, hockey, is they're going to extend from Saturday to Monday and Tuesday as well into next week. But we congratulate all the players and teams and coaches that are here today for this event on making it to the finals. It's quite an accomplishment, and there's a lot to be proud of in terms of what you have done all season long. Today's event is an event to not only honor you and to treat you to a nice lunch for your accomplishments, but it's also an opportunity for all of our media partners to have an opportunity to interview coaches and players here today so they can begin to feature our championships in the press, both print media and in television. So they'll be coming over and pulling some of you off while the program's going on or while we're at lunch. We ask that you give them whatever time that you can so that they can conduct their interviews. They would sincerely appreciate that. So before we go any further, I'd like to have everyone rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm not sure what it quite means for those schools that are going to be playing Fairfield Prep this weekend in hockey and basketball now that we have a new pope that's a Jesuit. But divine intervention doesn't always work. So play hard, guys, and on both sides, and I'm sure everyone will have a great weekend at the championships. What we do at CIAC behind the scenes to make all this happen for you and for high school sports is not known by a lot of people. But to put on events that we put on, such as the basketball championships, hockey, or any state championships, requires coordination and effort of a lot of people that don't necessarily get recognized for what they do. So I would just like to start today's program by just thanking a few people for what they do for high school sports and for making these championships with the quality events that they are for our athletes. First, I'd like to those people who work with me in the office, Joe Tonelli. If these folks would please stand. Joe, where are you hiding, Joe? Oh, there he is, down in the back. Longtime athletic director at Notre Dame of West Haven, works in our office and supervises various sports, including ice hockey and the officials. Matt Fisher from our technology department certainly has made the lives of our schools a lot easier with everything that he does with technology. Bob Lair, who former athletic director at Southington High School, who works in assistant athletic director at Yale. oversees several sports as well and works with us on basketball as well. Joel Cookson, who is our new Sports and Information Director, who is trying to get out everything to the media. Our tournament directors for these two events, George Hall for ice hockey. George, down back. And Bob Jiggs Cicchini for boys basketball. Jiggs? Okay. Our two committee chairs for both ice hockey and for basketball, Walt Zalaski for basketball and Dr. Thomas Nagel for ice hockey. You'll hear from them a little later on in the program. Also behind the scenes is Stephanie Ford, who handles all of our sponsorship and works with media as well. Stephanie. I'd like to recognize Dave Maloney, who was my girls basketball tournament director and an assistant executive director at CAS CIAC as well. Okay, those are just a few. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but there's a lot of people that put in a lot of effort and time to make these programs work. For those going on to the basketball finals at Mohegan Sun, there was a packet of material that was given to you by the tournament director that outlines information for the event, what you need to do, where you need to go, who you need to contact. I just want to emphasize that you need to make that phone contact with Frank Pavlich at Mohegan Sun. He'll coordinate everything with you in terms of where your buses go, where you get dropped off, how you handle things with your cheerleaders, and anything else. Frank is well-versed in what we do and how we operate, and he runs a great operation at Mohegan. All buses for teams at Mohegan will come in underneath the arena, and you'll park underneath, and as you get off the bus, you will actually be at floor level in the arena. So make that contact and make it soon, and he'll give you final directions on that. Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce the Executive Director of CAS CIAC, Dr. Carissa Niehoff, for a few words. Carissa.
Well, glad you guys made it, Fairfield. Good to see you walking in. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be one of many people that are probably already congratulating all of you guys on terrific seasons and wishing you luck this weekend. Certainly to the players and coaches, obviously you're here because we recognize that you did a great job, and we also want to wish you luck going forward. And we're just thrilled to be able to give you the opportunity to be the center of the state, be the center of attention for everybody in the state of Connecticut, whether it's at Mohegan or at Yale. But you definitely deserve to be in the media, front page on the papers and first story on the nightly news, because you're terrific, and everybody in the state is very proud of you, not just all of us at CIAC. I want to offer some thanks to our sponsors. You have a number of them that really make this event happen. Without them, we wouldn't be able to provide such a nice situation here at the Aqua Turf and the lunch, so I want to extend a special thanks to our sponsors from Spalding, DATCO, Town Fair Tire, IGA, Subway, and Max Preps. And we have a few of those representatives. If any of our sponsor reps are here, if you could please stand, we'd love to have you be recognized. Spalding and DATCO. All right. And of course, we want to thank the media reps for all of our print and internet and television media that are here to interview you guys. They work behind the scenes as well to make sure that your stories are heard and your great moments are celebrated. And we also want to send a special thanks out to Joe Zone and John Holt. You guys know very well that they put on a great show every Friday night featuring all high school sports. What you may not know is that their reputation is really national scale. They are known around the nation for doing great sports coverage. They're asked to do a lot of events apart from high school. And without fail, whether it's UConn or any of our state university level teams, even some professional situations, they will say no to those opportunities to make sure that their Friday night high school sports program gets aired and their events are covered. And you'll sometimes even see them, Joe Zone especially, carrying the camera on his shoulder now. Not only does he do the filming, but he does the broadcast of the story, and he does it with great enthusiasm and skill. So, Joe, thank you very much for everything that you do for high school sports. And John, I know he's going to be speaking. There he is. Thank you, John, very much for all that you do. So, I don't know if you guys are aware. Obviously, you know you're the best in the state of Connecticut, but I looked up a few of the stats about just how good you guys might be relative to nationwide numbers of kids that are playing boys basketball and ice hockey. And I found it pretty interesting. In basketball, we have over 18,000 high schools that have high school basketball, according to our national federation. That's about 540,000 student athletes playing boys basketball. In Connecticut, you've got 179 programs with about 5,400 student athletes. So if we figure you guys are on a roster of 10 or 12, makes you the top 1 to 2% of all high school boys basketball players in the state of Connecticut that are here in this room. So that's an incredible statement to your talent. For ice hockey, we have fewer teams of ice hockey teams around the country and in the state. But we have last year was 62 programs with about 1,600 players in Connecticut. So that makes you guys obviously the top single-digit percentage in your sport as well. And that's a tremendous accomplishment. We're hopeful that both of those sports continue to grow, and we're hopeful that we'll see some of you guys back year after year. I know there are a few players that have been here. How many times now? 3? Twice for these guys, yeah. So it's neat to see you returning from year to year. To get this far, we know that you guys have demonstrated not just great skill at your sport. That's a given. You're sitting here going into the finals. But you've also demonstrated all of the other aspects of sport and a lot of personal attributes that you have to rely on to make it through to the championship rounds. As a former Division I player, as a coach, as an athletic director, I remember being not only an athlete involved in national competition, but also coaching kids to state championships. And you probably know that it comes down to not just skill at this point, but it's all the other things that maybe don't show up in the stats. It's how well you blend as a team, how well you support each other. It's your mental attitude going forward. And it's making sure that your opponent is not in here, but your opponent is in fact out there on the court with you, so that you have everything ready to go in your head and your heart. You're ready to go out there and support each other and do everything your coaches have prepped you to do. And we know that you guys have demonstrated all of those skills to this point, and that you're ready to go. Hopefully you're all peaked, and this weekend's going to be a terrific memory for you. The last thing I'll say is just something I was reflecting on. Yesterday I shared this with the girls' teams at their press conference, but I don't know if any of you guys watched President Obama's inaugural speech. But he gave his speech, and he's on the Capitol steps, and he turns to go, and as he's walking off, and they captured this in the media, obviously, but he stops, and he turns around, and you can see him say this, hang on a second, I just want to get one more look at this, I'm never going to see this again. And it was a really cool moment where the man who leads our country was a total human being. And he stopped and he turned around, he took a breath, and he got his last look at his team out there on the mall in Washington, D.C., and his supporters. When you guys are at Mohegan or at Yale, and I hope that when you get out there on the court or on the ice, you take a moment and you look around and you see the thousands of people who are there for you that day in that moment. And I hope for you, it's an indelible moment in your life. And for you at 18 or however old you are, it is at that scale that it might be for President Obama as an older adult. But I hope that you guys have that special moment to appreciate and take in that environment. The noise, the sights, the sounds, the whole thing, because it will be one of the most special moments of your lives. So with all that said, I want to wish you all the best of luck and introduce now Don Boyle. He's going to take the program from here. And you may know that Don does a lot of our streaming of sporting events throughout the year. He's behind the scenes making it all go public for everybody to see, does terrific work, and he's going to be working the ice hockey tournament this weekend. And John is going to come up as our MC at this point. So John Holt and Don Boyle, come on up. I'll turn the program over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Carissa. You always say those nice things about what Joe and I do. It's a bit embarrassing, and quite frankly, a lot of the credit should go also to the print folks who do such a great job. They're at the back table here. That's Joe Morelli smirking as I said that, but Joe doesn't sleep much during basketball season. He coordinates the top 10 poll for the Register, and those folks will want to talk to a lot of you before you leave today, and we'll point out the tables as we go too. Don's going to run down the hockey matchups in a minute and offer his thoughts in just a second. I know that Joe Zone and I have a big weekend planned, as do you, for your schools and your families. We'll be on the air Friday night at 11:15 as usual, then again Saturday at 11:15 for a big championship Saturday of sports, and of course Monday and Tuesday come the additional hockey games, and we're looking forward to it. Whenever you're at the Aqua Turf, you know it's a celebration, whether it's a wedding or a family event, or in this case, celebrating a fantastic season. And you have the good fortune of playing in two tremendous venues here in the state, at Mohegan Sun Arena and Ingalls Rink, and it's just going to turn out to be fabulous in terms of the excitement. And the Ingalls Rink excitement for hockey is unmatched as far as I can tell. The state, and Mohegan is right there also. So good luck to all the teams. We'll have a chance to run down the matchups in just a few minutes. One more mention of the sponsors: IGA, DATCO, Spalding, Max Preps, and Subway. Without them, you don't get treated to something like this and the great venues and the way you'll be treated this weekend, and the chance to leave such a legacy. You've already left a legacy, but the chance to take it one more step this weekend, so we thank the sponsors. Don?
Thank you, John, and first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to the CIAC for allowing me to come on up here today and say hello to all you folks, the basketball folks, and of course the folks I really feel very close to, the hockey community out there. And I got a couple stories to tell, and I'll try to keep it brief. But first, I know that John turns down all these national gigs along with Joe Zone. The only thing I turned down is a dinner date with my wife to be at a hockey game. So I don't know that who's doing something right or wrong there, but I'll have to figure that out when I get home. But as you take a look at it, and talking about basketball, talking about hockey also, and the great thing about hockey, it is a lifetime sport. And through hockey, you make terrific friends. My first little story is I moved to Connecticut about 8 years ago. And I said to my wife, because I married her, she lived in Connecticut, and I love the state of Connecticut. And I went to college in Connecticut, the University of New Haven. I said, I'm always coming back to Connecticut. It was a really nice state, and lo and behold, I come back to Connecticut. So I got to make friends. How am I going to make a friend? I'm thinking about it. You know what? I'm going to go to the Ingalls Rink. I hear at the Ingalls Rink they play afternoon ice hockey 3 days a week. Okay, I go down. They say, sure, come on down and start skating. All of a sudden, I had 25 friends. 25 friends. It was awesome. One of the friends was Matt Sather's brother, John, who was an outstanding hockey player at Yale. And through that relationship, nice relationship with Matt Sather, relationship progresses with Notre Dame, West Haven, and Bill Gerosa, and all you folks out there. So hockey is a lifetime sport, and enjoy it, play it all your life, and you'll make great friends anywhere you go. If you travel, seek out a hockey player, and you'll have a true friend, I think, for lifetime. So that's story number one. Number two, I applaud all you young men who are in this room today for staying at your local high school or part of a co-op team. There's so many kids that get dangled this carrot, and they leave, and they miss out on what it's be part of a community. You guys are part of a great community within your school walls, for the town, the city that you represent, and I applaud you guys for that, and I think you deserve to give yourself a round of applause. I really feel strongly about that, and I really hope that you guys help to protect high school hockey as it moves along. One quick story, and it's kind of interesting. 20 years ago, I had a chance to fulfill one of my dreams, to broadcast a state championship hockey game at the Boston Garden. That was pretty cool. I had never broadcasted a game from Boston Garden. I played there in the semifinals of the Division I hockey tournament, and we lost. Wasn't too happy about that. But I broadcast a game. The team that I was kind of representing, Gloucester, Massachusetts, they won the game. It was 1993. It's kind of funny. The other day I was just reflecting upon whatever it might be concerning the game of hockey, and lo and behold, I got a phone call from that hockey coach, Dana Knowlton, out of the blue, 10 o'clock at night. And he goes, you know what? This coming Friday, meaning tomorrow, is our 20th anniversary of winning that state championship. You know what? That whole team is getting together in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And what was so unique about it is that community needed something to grab hold of back in 1993. They had a student shot to death in their cafeteria. They had a woman jump off the big bridge that leads into Gloucester that same year. And they had a former student killed at college who was shot by a gun. Okay? Sure, it makes you think about Newtown a little bit. And I actually was kind of happy to see Newtown beat Amity, my good friend Gary Lindgren. It just, you know, they knocked out the #1 team. But the point I'm trying to make, 20 years ago, they remember all those moments. And that community grasped that. They took hold of that championship. So that's what you're responsible for when you go out on the ice to play in this tournament on Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I wish you the best with that. One other thing, just to reflect upon it, playing at the Boston Garden, I don't remember it. And I think that's why our team lost, because I didn't remember. I don't think any of my teammates remembered. Yeah, a little bit of this or that. Yeah, you got a penalty and your name was up on the board. You know, I got 2-minute hooking call, and all of a sudden my name's being announced. But that's all I remember. The team that beat us was an underdog, but they played with composure. They played within themselves, and I think they seized the moment. They looked around and they seized the moment. I think you guys can understand that. If you go into this game and it becomes a blur, you're in trouble. If you can remember every moment and really find it within you to be part of the whole atmosphere of what it's like to be at the Ingles Rink, you guys are going to all be successful, really win or lose. So I wish you the best of luck with all that. Dr. Tom Nagel is going to be coming up in a moment along with George Hall. They have a couple of words to say. I'm actually shaking about this. I'm very emotional about some of this stuff, so hopefully you can feel that emotion. You know, I'm trying to speak from my heart here for all you folks out there. I just want to mention some of the sponsors. Brian Kelly, Regional Sales Director of Spalding, the East Region. Is Brian here? You want to say a few words, Brian? Come on up.
Thank you very much. I just want to say on behalf of Spalding, congratulations to all of you for being here. Each and every one of you has been tested at one point throughout this season, and you know, becoming a team and going through those tests and solving those challenges and getting here, you're at the pinnacle of your sport, and you should be very proud of that and enjoy every second, and including right now all the way through this weekend. So best of luck to everybody, and have some great games and have some fun too. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, up next, I'd like to call Jim Ullino, the President of Marketing for Town Fair Tire, if he's here. Jim? Town Fair Tire, of course, one of the fine sponsors.
We're really glad to be part of this great organization and the type of sports that are being developed by all of you folks. We wish you a great season, go on and win a lot of games and have a lot of fun, and most of itself, enjoy yourself and be safe.
All right, thank you, Jim, and don't forget to get your tires there at Town Fair Tire, too, okay? All right, you all need to get places, right? When you go to hockey games, practice, and things like that, and usually you need a pretty good bus company to do that. I'll do all that. So going to call up Fred Janor, the Director of Business Development for DATCO.
Good morning. This is quite an accomplishment that you bring to the event today, and I'm very, very proud. DATCO's very proud of the effort that goes into this, and want to wish you all the luck in the world, and leave it out there on the court or on the ice. I do see a couple of, somebody just reminded me, I played Division I basketball also, and I was only 6'4", jump center, LIU, Brooklyn campus, which made the NCAA tournament again. So I had to hide it. Back then we had platform shoes, and I had a 6-inch afro. Some of you have that in here today. But some of the best years of my life, really enjoyed it. Wish you guys all the luck, and have a great time and cherish the moment. Thank you very much.
Before I bring up the next two speakers as part of the hockey part of the program, I just want to mention Sal Fallow, who's back there. Sal is on the hockey committee representing the coaches, does a terrific job. And the hockey committee coaches staff will put together a couple of all-star games to be played at the Milford Ice Pavilion on the 23rd of March and on the 30th. On the 23rd, they play a junior and senior game, all in-state Connecticut players. You may be getting a call. Hopefully you can compete in that game. It's a terrific event. And then they select the best of the best from the juniors and senior classes, and they take on the best from Massachusetts. So that should be a lot of fun. Maybe you can put that in your calendar and check that all out at the end of March. Okay, so just wanted to mention that. George Hall has done a terrific job, of course, running the show for the CIAC and the hockey committee, and really has been terrific as a tournament director. I consider him a friend, and also Dr. Tom Nagel, who is part of the committee, and I'm going to ask Dr. Nagel to come on up and say a few words, and how about a big hand for Tom. He is smooth, he is sweet as silk, and I'll tell you what, he's got that tough side to him, too. Just ask about a little bit about rugby, and he'll tell you about it.
Yeah, you had to mention rugby. Ireland's not doing too well in the Six Nations, but we won't go there. I want to start by congratulating all the teams, both hockey and basketball, that have qualified for our respective championships. You guys are all champions. I know you've had a great season and thus far a great tournament. It's probably cliche, but you don't have to win this game that's coming up to be a champion. You're already there. So Don mentioned one of the coaches on our staff, on our hockey committee, Sal Fallow, but Sal, you didn't stand. I want everybody to recognize Sal Fallow. He not only does everything that Don mentioned about the postseason All-Star games, which are quickly becoming just a tremendous event. But on our committee, you need to know that he does a great job representing the coach's point of view and coordinating our coaches, not only the guys on our committee, but throughout the state. And it's been a tremendous addition to the work that we do to get the input of our coaches as we move forward with hockey. For those of you who are not hockey guys, ice hockey is a unique sport. It combines speed, physicality, individual skills with teamwork. All the teams that have made the championships in our three divisions this year share these characteristics. But there's something else, I think, that makes Connecticut ice hockey unique, and this year's tournament is a perfect example of it. The 6 teams that we honor today represent, by my estimation, I stopped counting, at least 75 towns in our state, and that's unique. So as I mention these teams, you'll see what I mean. First of all, Division III, and before I say who they are, and you had to be at Ingalls the other night to see the games that were played for these two teams to get here today. They were unbelievable. They were unbelievable games, and their team should be proud because they brought great crowds with them. Number one seed, Newington, Berlin, Manchester. Their coach is Dave Harakwitz. If those guys would stand and be recognized. Right over here. Dave is a member of our committee as well. They will play number 3, Rockville, Bolton, Coventry, Lyman Hall. We just call them BCR. Chris Stevenson's their coach. Guys? There we go. Thanks. In Division II, also some great games to get here. Number 13, Fairfield Ward Ludlow, the Mustangs, Mark Petterini. There they are. And they'll be playing number 2, East Catholic, the Eagles, Drew Clark and his staff. Fellas? And that brings us to D1. And 2 teams, 2 programs that everybody knows if they know anything about high school hockey in Connecticut. Number 1, Fairfield Prep, the Jesuits, Matt Saylor, the head coach, right here in front of me. Fellas? Right next to them, number 2, Notre Dame Green Knights, Bill Gerosa, their head coach. Thus far, we've had a very exciting tournament with huge upsets. Don talked about one, number 17, Newtown knocking off number 1 Amity in D2. It's a good example. And thrilling overtime and double overtime games that were decided by we call them sudden victory goals. Takes your breath away. We expect nothing less as the championships continue at Yale University's historical Ingalls Rink. So good luck to all of our finalists in ice hockey. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Tom Nagel. Great job, as always. Yeah, he's sweetness. Now, when I'm looking for someone to be the general out at the Ingalls Rink, when something's going wrong, I bring up this fella right here, George Hall. George.
I don't think I've ever been called general of anything before. I want to congratulate all of the teams in both sports. I've, over a long career, had a chance to visit the finals as a coach. And I was talking to one of the hockey teams a little bit this morning, and it's sort of been mentioned, but my thought would be this. The pictures will be indelible, gentlemen. There are things that you will never forget that will happen to you over the next few days. Enjoy. Love each other a little bit. Be willing to make that extra pass, dive in front of that puck and make that extra stop, and just have a great, great, great time. So congratulations to all. I do have a couple of thoughts that we do want to express and remind people with regard to our hockey tournament. It's a little bit unique this year. We will not be at Yale for our final games on the weekend for the most part because of Yale's participation in the ECAC tournament. They're at home this weekend. So please note the matchups and the time frames and the dates. They do change a little bit. Our D3 will play on Saturday, and they will drop the puck at 1:30. Our ticket windows will open 1 hour before all our games, and we'll go at 1:30 with our D3 championship on Saturday. The teams have already been mentioned, of course, Newington and BCR, Berlin, and all those good folks. Our D2 championship moves from Friday night to Monday night, a standalone game at Ingalls on Monday night. We'll open the gates at 6, we'll drop the puck at 7, and that will be our D2 championship. And our ultimate and final game of the year, and it'll be the final winter contest for all CIAC sports, will be next Tuesday night, again at 7 o'clock, gates open at 6, and that'll be our D1 championship between the folks sitting right down in front of me, the folks from Notre Dame and the folks from Prep. Will go Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So those are changes for us. My other little task this morning in my remaining few seconds is to offer congratulations. Our committee, one of the things that our committee does each year is to honor someone who has given of himself or herself over a long period of time in service to the development and the ongoing prosperity of the sport of ice hockey at the high school level in Connecticut. And the person that we're going to honor, and I'm very, very pleased that that person is in our midst this morning, so we get to honor him a little bit directly. I'm going to get to talk about him for a few moments next week, and he'll actually have to shut up and stand still and listen to me speak about him. Normally, he is the gentleman that you wake up to. You turn on the radio in the morning, and this guy for years and years and years has been talking about the important things that youth sports are having happen to them and high school sports are having happen to them in Connecticut. So our committee has chosen as our honoree this year, and we'll fet he and his family and to take him on the ice before the D1 game next Tuesday night. Would you please welcome and honor, as we get set to honor, the ice hockey honoree of our committee this year, the coach, George DeMeo. George. Gentlemen, start your engines. Have a great tournament.
Thank you, George, and congratulations, Coach. Well deserved. see him there at all those games. He works very hard, along with his brother and Glenn, his engineer. They do a terrific job year after year after year. In closing, on the hockey portion of things, just want to mention to you guys, the officiating, in my opinion, in the semifinals has been absolutely brilliant. They have let you guys play. There haven't been too many penalty calls, unless the penalties are called. Some of you guys may disagree, but take a look back at the box scores. There's not too many penalties called. I think they're letting you guys play and trying to just take the integrity and the safety of the game into their aspects of how they're officiating. So keep that in mind. Don't go overboard. Enjoy it. The team that stays out of the penalty box most likely will win, and there's going to be some terrific games. I wish you all the best of luck, and I can't wait to watch you all play in the championship games. And I know you're all going to play with determination and responsibility. So enjoy, seize the moment, and have a lot of fun with it. Same thing for all the folks playing basketball, obviously, at the Mohegan Sun. I just want to close with thanking our sponsors one more time, Town Fair Tire, Dadco, Max Preps, of course, and was it Spalding? Yes, Spalding also, for joining us. Now we turn it over to the basketball portion, and the guy with national recognition, that's John Holt.
Thanks, Don. We're inching closer to eating. We'll do that in a few minutes. We just have to get some details on the basketball games and events scheduled for this weekend. And just one more quick comment about Coach DeMeo. Coach, this hockey portion of the luncheon didn't exist a few years ago, and from it's my understanding, it's really George who helped to push for that. So yet another feather in your cap, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate all that you do, and I certainly enjoy listening to you online and in my car when I'm driving around from event to event. Before we get to the matchups, and there are some really interesting storylines, as there usually are, want to bring up and acknowledge a few people that help organize this and make the tournament happen on the boys basketball side. Get some thoughts and final instructions. Bob Jiggs Cicchini, the tournament director, Tom Murray, the assistant tournament director, and Walt Zalaski, the chair of the boys basketball committee. And we're going to start with Walt, who has a few words for you as we prepare for the big weekend. Gentlemen.
Good morning all, and best of luck to ice hockey and basketball, but you're not going to get away that easy. In this room, we have all contending finalists, and gentlemen, who would have thought? At the beginning of a season, and I'm going to speak on the basketball side, so pardon me, ice hockey, 179 teams started, 123 teams qualified, and now it's down to 2 in each division. An incredible ride. And I'm just going to speak to that. And in every ride, we all know that we can't do it by ourselves. We have our supporting network, our family, our friends, people at school and things like that. And what I ask all the championship players to do at some point is to reflect on the people that supported you, and if you can, in some way acknowledge and thank them. Because without them, many would not be sitting here. The other aspect of it is your teammates. And whether you've been here for the first time today or for a number of times, these memories that you're making will be forever. And as you get older, as some of us are, these memories, if you've had the opportunity to compete in a championship contest, get better and better. Because as the years go by, we get better and better in our performances. So, and then one of the last things is the efforts of CIAC and all their help and everything like that to put on this unbelievable tournament. Ice hockey plays at Ingalls, and I've said to a couple people this morning, you know, when you walk on the Mohegan Sun floor, it's very, very similar, maybe, to walking on Madison Square Garden floor. It's an unbelievable experience for those of us who have been able to do that. And as you get ready to compete, you know, enjoy these memories, soak it in. Somebody else had mentioned that, and although, you know, final decisions are going to be made as 2 teams, you know, compete for the plaque, everybody in this room going into those contests are champions. Compete well, good luck, and enjoy the ride.
Jakes, you had some final details to share with the teams?
Thank you, John. Congratulations, best wishes to all the teams, hockey and basketball. One change, basketball, you're going on to a brand-new floor at Mohegan Sun. It was being installed the last 2 days, so you'll be the first group that'll be playing on this floor. The ADs and the coaches have the instructions that they have. I'm as close as the phone. Please pick up 2 basketballs on your way out. Have a great day. Have a great tournament. Enjoy the run. It'll be fun. Congratulations. Thank you.
Jakes, thank you, and thank you, gentlemen, for your hard work in making this tournament a success. I want to point out a few things before we run down the matchups and get ready for lunch. I'm told that when you include the girls' games, the first 7 games held at Mohegan Sun, so the first 2 Friday, and then the first 5 on Saturday will be live. Is that correct, Bob? Bob Yalen from CBTV Sports with his crew over there. Glenn Conticello, who you'll see on the broadcast. That will be live statewide, so we obviously want you to come out to the Sun to enjoy the festivities, but if you can or have a family member that can't make it, they can see it on live television for the first 7, and the last one will be broadcast by MSG Varsity, I believe, Hill House and Fairfield Prep in the Double L. So all these games are going to be televised at one point or another. You will see a young lady working these games too. She happens to be one of our interns at the moment. Margot Farrell is over there with my colleague Joe Zone. She'll be working the sidelines. So you maybe ask questions by Margot, who is quite an accomplished athlete herself, though sometimes hesitant to admit it. She's a bronze medalist from the recent Olympics from Woodbridge High School, a swimmer for France. So Margot, it's good to have you with us today, and the athletes will see you this weekend. All right, on to the matchups. We'll just go by the smallest class to the biggest class and mention some details you may or may not be aware of. In Class S, it is a rematch of a regular season game, Weaver versus Granby, a game that Granby did win, I believe, and Weaver's a team that I had a chance to see last night. Actually had a losing record in the regular season, but they're now at 12-12. They've had an inspired run with their Bleeding Green and Weaver Pride in the postseason, and I think they're in the back there. If you guys can just raise your hands. Where's the Weaver group? Oh, they're over here. I'm sorry. Congratulations, gentlemen. It's just so the media knows where everybody is. We'll have the tables point themselves out. Weaver has won 7 all-time state championships, so certainly a storied program. We welcome them back to the championship game. Granby going for its first, and they do hold the upper hand, having won that regular season matchup. And Coach Wally Hansen, where's Granby? Right there, gentlemen, congratulations. Should mention, of course, Charles Sylvan is the head coach for Weaver. That will be the 9:30 matchup, right, on Saturday morning. So get some rest on Friday. We're looking forward to that. In Class M, that'll happen on Friday night, the nightcap of the 2 games. Valley Regional and Coach Kevin Woods. Coach, right here, congratulations. Valley's had a great tradition in recent years, and particularly enjoy the student section with the equivalent of their fat heads that they hold up. There's great school support for what you guys are doing in Deep River. And speaking of school support and fan support and community support, Coach Mike Visdo in Weston has had quite a month or so, and now they're in the state championship. Had a chance to see them play Kaner Tech in what was a pulsating game in Waterbury last weekend as they advanced. Coach, where's your team? Good luck to you. That's going to be quite a matchup in Class M on Friday night. All right, on to L, and this was just decided last night with the semifinals. Program that's looking for its 7th all-time championship. Coach Mike Walsh. Coach, last time you and I were here, you were getting a gold key from the Connecticut Sports Writers Alliance here at the Aqua Turf. You're a treasure here in state, and good luck to your team as you vie for another championship, Coach Mike Walsh. Their opponent will be a team from the quiet corner that's making a lot of noise and has been a bit of a mystery to myself at times and some of the other voters in the state poll. What is this Woodstock team? Are they for real? As they kept winning and had a couple early season wins that caught our attention, including a win over New London. They will be vying for the school's first ever boys basketball state championship with Coach Greg Smith. Coach? Good luck to you. And for a fourth time in the nightcap, we get the double-double meeting that we've seen 3 times previously, with Hill House winning twice and Fairfield Prep the other time. What a showdown that promises to be, and what a celebration for the SCC and Commissioner Al Carbone as they meet again. Hill House with, I believe, 22 all-time state championships, and Coach Renard Sutton. Coach, good luck to you in the academics. And Fairfield Prep, they've been down this road before. They know what it's all about against Hill House. Coach Redgate, good luck to you and the team as you play this weekend and vie for a championship versus Hill House. So those are the matchups, and we're going to break for lunch at this point, and the media, feel free to conduct interviews at this time also. It's a good opportunity to do. We have a giant window to do it, and the athletes and the coaches can make themselves available and balance that around eating. Enjoy your lunch, and of course, good luck this weekend.